All right, Brendan. The second part of the latte factor assignment is taking a look at our short term wants versus needs. And so we'll watch again a short little video here, and then I'll walk you through that assignment and that process.
I think gullible means easy to trick. You fall for stupid things.
It kind of means like you just don't think, you just do things.
Being naive, easy to cheat. That's being gullible. That's not me.
Without thinking, many of us make decisions every day that show we're a lot more gullible than we realize. These decisions demonstrate we're gullible in ways that dramatically impact our money and even our health. The gullibility test consists of 4 simple topics. Answers to a few questions about each topic will help you see how much your gullible decisions are costing you right now. With each topic, we bring you great resources to keep you out of trouble. We'll be testing you on one topic each week for 4 weeks, starting right now with want versus need. Meet Jane. Jane likes to stop for coffee on the way to work. To Jane, coffee's coffee. But she buys the designer coffee at her favorite spot anyway, rather than the basic coffee. Every workday, Jane also likes to eat out for lunch with a friend. It's a great break. She usually picks her favorite restaurant, a pretty expensive one. Next door, there's a place rated by consumers as better and cheaper. Jane hasn't checked it out. Jane's phone died. She already has a desktop for checking social media and only uses her phone for calls and texts. But she buys the newest, fastest smartphone anyway. No big decision. Buying the designer coffee rather than the basic cup? In a year, Jane wasted $1,250. Not thinking about a better and cheaper place for lunch? That's $1,500 wasted in 1 year. And charging that meal rather than paying cash for it? That means she's financing petty purchases. You don't want to know how much money that wastes. Buying more phone than she needed burned $300 in minutes. Small want versus need decisions pile up over time. Guess how much you can waste during your working years if you consistently choose just your coffee and just your lunch based on want rather than based on need? $107,000. You're faced with hundreds of want versus need decisions every month. Take this week's gullibility test and see how you're tackling those decisions. Then explore the resources and other videos on this page and tune in next week. If you like, we'll email you when the next test question is up.
All right, so your classmates and I had a really good discussion with wants versus needs here today, and just kind of looking at a typical high school student, whether it's you're paying for these things or if it's your parents that are paying for these things. What I want you to do is look and find 6 short-term wants that or versus needs that you currently have. So, just to give you an example, um, one of those wants versus needs that we typically see at the high school is our cell phone. Some high school students will definitely say that our cell phone is a need, um, and some will say it's very nice to have, but it's just a want. Uh, Food, absolutely, food is a need, but going out to eat every day for lunch is more of a want, not a need. So that could be another example where you could look at your personal life and see, is there a couple areas that maybe we could sacrifice or cut back on. Uh, Coffee would be an example in this area. Transportation is another area with our high school students. So again, if we take a look, yes, we probably need some type of transportation. This would be definitely a want, where this would be more of a need. And the fourth one, which probably isn't going to work for you because you're going to be going to the St. Cloud State University and playing hockey. And if you're receiving a scholarship, that's wonderful. But want versus need, as an example, I want to go to Concordia, a private school, but I don't need to go to Concordia. It would be nice if we could afford to go there, but I really could go to Northland for a couple years and then transfer to possibly a public school and get that same degree. So those would be 4 different examples that you could possibly use. Some other ones, our gaming system or Netflix or cable, all of these different things that maybe our parents are providing at our current living situation, could also be wants versus needs. So these do not have to be things that you are paying for. Mom or dad could be paying for these items. Okay. So again, if you go to your senior focus and select short-term wants versus needs, we can get, and you can see I have a smartphone there, and that's kind of what we're going to use. So, and so you have 6 different items that you're going to need to come up with. So as an example, we can put in smartphone. There is no wrong answer when it comes to question B or C or column B and C. You just need to put down what you personally feel. So if you feel that smartphone is a want, why do we want it? What are the things? So, a typical, high school kid might say for social media, communication, could be examples that we plug in there. If, you're saying that the smartphone is a need, why do we have to have it? Emergency. Could be an example on why we have to have that. So you just put down what it is personally. So for me, a cell phone is a want. And for me, it would be dealing with podcast, communication, would be some of those items that I would put down. Price of an item. So what we did is we took a look at what is an upgrade in our phone. So the kids figured an iPhone 7 was costing roughly $800 to $1,000. And so what we're trying to do is figure out what the cost is for the year. So if we, take the middle of that, an upgrade in our phone is $900. And so right now we'd have $900. All right. We also understand that in order to use our phone that we have to have a data plan. So, if we were looking at, having 10 gigs of data, that's going to cost us about, $80 to $100 maybe a month. So I'll just use 100 because it's a little easier number. So if I do 100 and multiply that by the 12, okay, we're using $1,200 in our for the year for data, plus the $900 for the phone. At this point, this phone is costing us $2,100. iPhone is really good at when we do change from an iPhone 5 to a 6 to a 7, they change the size of the screen, which then forces us into buying, different cases, different glass film on the top, and possibly insurance. And so, if we were looking at the case and the film, a lot of kids thought maybe we could get all that for around $50. And then I know my kids have insurance on their phone, so if we added another $10 a month, so another $120, this phone is going to cost me $2,270. All right, and so how many hours would I have to work as a high school student to pay for this? And so basically, you take that number and divide it by 10, and we're just using 10 because it's an easy number to work with. So 2,270 divided by 10 gets us, that wasn't right, 2,270 divided by 10 gets us 227 hours you would have to put in. So at this point, again, no wrong answer. Is putting in that much time worth it? And some will say yes, some will say no. Okay, and so you need to decide. And so for me, if I cannot afford this, my answer would be no. and what are some alternatives. So, you know, it wouldn't allow me to maybe do the podcast piece, but I could still communicate with a dumb phone or a track phone. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at, looking at these alternatives, and if we sacrifice this short-term money and we use that to start working for us, could we possibly reach those bucket list dreams that you created earlier? So what you need to do is go through and create 6 more of these. So as an example, when it comes to food, it might be going out to eat for lunch. When it comes to transportation, it might be your gas. Like I said, the college one might not work for you, but maybe it's Netflix or cable, PlayStation could be a possibility. What you just need to do is you need to come up with 6 items that you're currently either buying yourself or your parents are spending money to provide, that stuff for you, and just kind of break it down: want versus need. Why is it a want or why is it a need? What is it costing us for the year? How many hours would I have to work? Is it worth it? And what are some alternatives that you could do besides having that item? So good luck with that. Again, if you have any questions, then again, shoot me an email.